Okay guys, here we are back at the forge again. Today's project is going to be a 4-tier plant hanger or bird feeder. It'll be freestanding all on its own. So all you have to do is just take this and drop it in the ground. Now to start with, I've got 4 rods, 3/8 inch diameter or square, at 2 feet long apiece. I've actually got another one tucked away. And a piece of 1/2 inch, 71 inches long. So, first things first, spike to go on the ground. Be real sharp, guys, just a little differential in point there. Glance off any rocks. Okay guys, next, taper the ends down to a point. On your 3/8 rod. Do that to all 4 pieces of your 3/8 rod. Okay guys, now in the very end, you want to scroll this over. For me, I like a nice tight scroll on these. Just like that. Do that to all 4. Next guys, what I do is take a piece of 1-inch black iron pipe, set it in the jaw of my tongs like that. I grab this piece here. Sometimes you gotta give it a little tap. But just form it around that. Just be careful of your cue. So you wind up with a hook like that. Okay guys, next all I did was just twist that in right there on the very end of it. I'm not going to show you guys a twist. You've seen enough of those. You know how to do them. I just do that just to dress it up a little bit. Okay guys, next part is a forming jig. Now all I did was I drew out with a Sharpie on this piece of steel and I just tack welded all these in. I went back and kind of shored them up on the side that's going to take the most pressure. But all you do is you set your piece in, the jig, like that. Try not to burn yourself. So let's actually turn this plate around and then just start your bends. You see where you got to stop? You got to heat right there. Doing it this way, every piece will get bent identically. That's kind of the point of this, is to bend everything the same, all 4. So when you line them up, they all look the same. And you can make your jigs out of whatever you got. You can use a piece of wood and just tack heavy nails into it, like into a stump. Just tack some decent sized nails, get some, some decent sized landscaping nails, about yay big, and you can tap those in. Use that. You don't have to weld this up. I mean, because each one is a disposable. The only thing with welding it, if you've got access to it, is you can keep reusing the same plate over and over again. You don't have to keep getting a new stump every time you want to burn something. Okay guys, this here is just a little handy device I made. It's basically a 3rd leg. It just goes down in the ground, comes up, and it's got a little hook on the end to hold whatever size material you're going to work on. In this particular instance, it's going to come in very handy. I apologize for the camera shots, guys. It is snowing here, so I'm trying to keep my camera out of the snow. Now basically what we've got here is I welded all 4 of our hooks on with an arc welder. Just get in, get it done quick. Then I'm just taking this piece of metal to hide those welds up a little bit. And just collar or wrap around it. This is called collaring, hence what you're doing here. But you basically just set that in the fire right where it is, let those hooks hang over a little bit. That's why I kept these hooks straight for now. We'll bend them back at a slight angle here in a bit. You just straight out angles like that. But all we're going to do is just take this piece of metal here and just wrap it around to kind of hide those welds. That way it doesn't look like anything. You can also use collaring to attach pieces of metal together. You take 2 pieces of cold metal, get your piece of collar hot, wrap it around, quench it. The metal will contract around your object and kind of clinch it in place. It's not a real high pressure, high tensile hold, but it will hold a bit. Okay guys, this next part is this thing here. Just a piece of 3/8, about 2 foot long. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect. Just bend it about to there. To get that shape, the way I do it, grab my piece of scrap bar here, is I'll actually take a piece of 1/2 inch bar, throw it in there like that, and just tap straight down, and it'll kind of square that off. Okay, now that we got it like that, we're going to heat it up. You're going to heat up right about there, from there forward, and I'll show you how to do it, or what we do with it rather. Okay guys, I'm going to try to stay out of the shot as much as possible here. What you do is you take this staple, basically. That's all it is. You may have to open it up a little bit. But then you just take these ends, make sure it's seated in there, and you bend them over. Like that. Okay? Now if you need to, you can go back on the anvil and pound those flat. Not a problem. I'll actually bend mine down to about there. Okay guys, so back to this. Set it up wherever it works for you. But all you're going to do is just bend this over. And like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't even have to be real straight. It's just going to go on the ground as an extra saddle hook. So we'll do the other one the same. And then when you're ready, you can actually line this up here on the end of your anvil like this. And you come back here and you'll hit on the end and it'll slide the whole works forward if it's too tight. Okay guys, there we are. That's it. That's how the legs look, and stuck in the ground, like I said, like a tripod. And then shoot our up to here, and there we go. You can see I just bent those out cold by hand. I didn't get real fancy with them. The camera angle may there. Just kind of eyeball them up, and you can just take on these. You can hang, your plants or whatever, and that base will hold things in place for you. Especially once you get everything kind of lined up. That's it, guys. Plant hanger, bird feeder, whatever you want. And remember, if you don't want to do 4, do 2. I think the 4s look kind of neat. There's that collar job. Put a little twist in it, and then right down to the ground. Okay, guys. Just a quick contest update on the end of this tail end of this video. I've had a lot of really good comments so far. I've picked 2 items for sure I'm going to do, possibly a third. Still kind of thinking about it. I'll announce them as I post the video, so I'll actually film me doing the piece and then I'll post it. Quick note though, I'm not any good at doing Damascus steel. I've seen quite a few requests for it on there. I'm just not any good at it. It's not a skill that I've ever really polished up. So any Damascus work that I would do, I wouldn't trust. Secondly, swords. I don't make swords. The science and artistry behind making a sword is very specialized. It's a lot different from making a knife. I own a few really good swords, and I've made a couple really bad swords. So there you go. Just the artistry and the work and the science behind it is not something I really work at. They're not real cost effective. Actually, same thing with Damascus. With my setup here at home, I'm not set up to do Damascus. You know, you can do it by hand, but it's a lot of work. I don't own a trip hammer, power hammer, air hammer, whatever. I don't own one. I have no plans of owning one. I like working with my hands. I like doing what I do. If one falls in my lap, sure, I may try to play with play with making Damascus billets. But until then, there's plenty of other sources out there to see Damascus, and I hate to put it that way. I'm not any good at it. I struggle with forge welding half the time. So, you know, like I always said, I'm not the expert here, guys. I'm just willing to show you what I know. So with that being said, this is Jason Lauer with Kovacs Ironworks. I want to thank you again for all your views and support, and hope to see you again soon.